sign, but it's the torture to rise. Uncover your eyes, see what's outside. Eventually we'll find the time. And what if I believe you? Or what if and what if I could see you like I saw you the whole time? Go on, give it your all tonight. You can say anything you like. I'm not your savior, so far away. Blinded by anger, you forgot who to play. I'll never be your lighthouse in the dust. If I had my way, I'd guide you to the rocks. Go on, give it your all tonight. You can say anything you like. Poison my mind. You'll never be satisfied. Blame the divine. Eventually they'll find the time. And what if I believe you? Or what if I believe you? What if I
Welcome to Whiskey_TV.
What if I believed you? What if
National Auto Racing Club. That's the league that we're about to broadcast. Qualifying is underway here at Lernerville. The old school racetrack that everyone absolutely loves. A little bit of race info. Lernerville Speedway. Track length 0.37 miles. Length, temperature 78 degrees. Altitude 1,023. It's 56% humidity out there. Race number 2 for season number 3 for the National Auto Racing Club. The number 7 machine of Zach Janis was able to pick up the first win of the race season. Over 30 drivers are signed up here tonight. Top 4 drivers will advance out of the heat races. And we'll fight all the way back through the C-Main through on. All the way to the Mac Daddy Show. Qualifying is over with. 10 cars are going to get lined up for heat race number 1. And we'll see how everyone shakes and bakes out there. Stacked heat race number 1, too. Luck of the draw if you're in this heat race. Here we go for the race grid. For the National Auto Racing Club, heat race number 1, the Greg Alamy Jr. elbows up Sim Sports driver. Number 99 machine to the top spot with Tyler Schell, the 6'3" man of Tyler Schell. 44. Driver out of Pennsylvania, he'll be starting to the outside. Greg Stevens, he'll be starting there in 3rd place with Ryan Washoe. He'll be starting in the fourth spot, rounding out the second row. Starting up in the third row is going to be Brandon Garman with Team SSR, and then Jeff Stewart with Elbows Up Sim Sports, the number 72 machine. Daniel Joseph, the 29 machine, with Gas Monkey Sim Sports. He'll be starting there in the seventh spot with Zach and Jay Miller to his outside. Dakota Hartzell and Jareth Pike will be making up that last row, that 9th and 10th row. Here for this first heat race. So 3 teammates in this one of Lamy, Shell, and then Stewart back there in the 6th spot. Outside shot here at Lernerville. No outside wall to catch you. Greg will be rocking the all red machine, the number 99. Ryan Washock to the outside, running the little bit of chrome red. Jeff Stewart to the outside as well with the red, white, and blue paint scheme. Greg Stevens down to the bottom side with the all black and blue. Slick hardware, or sorry, Slick apparel there on that engine cover. Top 4 drivers will advance. So let's stack them up and pack them up and get ready to rock and roll for a long night of racing here for the National Auto Racing Club. Green flag is out. Let's shoot this shot down to turn number 1. Lamy Jr. is going to lead lap number 1. Ryan Washock there in P2. Jeff Stewart, he's going to round out the top 3 now. Greg Stevens is inside the hot seat with that last and final transfer spot. Brandon Carmen outside looking in now. Nose to tail racing all the way throughout the race field. Daniel Adam Joseph back here in P7. Tyler Shells moved up 2 spots. He did get an EOL at the start of this heat race. Down to the bottom side of Daniel. He's going to try to slide jump the 38 machines there. Shell. He goes flipping, coming out of turn 4. End over end, back on his wheels. He'll be back there in the 10th spot now. Back up front, Lamy. That's his race loose side by side back here now. Stewart almost was trying to get around. Sorry, Gage Stevens trying to get around Jeff Stewart. Jeff to the high side. Greg down to the bottom side. They're going to drag race down the back stretch. Stevens going to follow right back in line in turns 3 and 4. They wheel and deal down into turn in number 1 now. Brandon Carmen still outside looking in for heat race number 1. Needs to pick up 1 spot for Team SSR. And Greg Stevens is trying to do everything he possibly can to get around Jeff Stewart now. Right rear tire next to the outside Cushing and letting her eat. Into turns 3 and 4 now. White flag is going to wave for Lamy Jr. Ryan Washock still holding down P2, but barely holding on. Now here comes Jeff Stewart trying to work the outside. Greg Stevens had to check up for a slight bang, and for the final time in turns 3 and 4, Stevens tries to work the bottom side, trying to find some grip. Not going to work out for him. He will transfer into the Mac Daddy show. Brandon Carmen outside looking in, so he'll have to work his way through the B main. Heat race 1 went pretty smoothly. Went pretty smooth. Only one little accident. That was Tyler Shell went down to the bottom side. He tried to throw a slide job, but that didn't work out too good for him. So that's heat race number 2. About to get ready to start up. And this is how the heat race is going to fall into place with Randy. LGR Motorsports of Randy, number 24 machine. He'll be there in the top spot. And Patrick Spangler, the guy that finished in the top 3 last week. A very good run by the number 10 machine with Wide Open Motorsports. He'll be starting there to the outside, making up the first row. Kenny Hopp in the 001 car, SSR Elite, the sim racing driver, had a very good night number 1. Just tapped the outside wall and ended his night. Curtin A to the outside of him. That'll make up the second row. Third row, give that to Jordan Etter, and then Colin Murphy back down at P6. Scott King and David Flick. You have Bryce and then Dylan back there in the 9th and 10th spot. Ten-lap heat race. Top 4 drivers will advance. Big Bacon Media. Casey up there in the comments section says go number 10. Mr. Spangler there. So stacked up, backed up, wheel to wheel, wing to wing. Getting ready to rock and roll. Green flag's out. To the bottom side, trying to throw the slide job, not quite. Randy was there. They drag race back down to backstretch. Into turns 3 and 4 now. Spangler looks down to the bottom side one more time. Track extremely tacky down there as everyone wheels and deals back down into turn number 1 and 2 now. Spangler wanting the race lead, has his sights for it, just quite can't clear that number 56 machine of Randy Shears. On throughout the pack now, and there goes Randy. Big time contact with Kenny hopping off the raceway. Samut Colin Murphy there in the hot seat now. There in the number 9 machine. Halfway home to mama this time by 1 minute and 3 seconds in this heat race. Big time shake up there in the top 4. Murphy's inside the transfer spot now. Curtin A up to P3. Jordan Enter P2, and then Patrick Spangler with the race lead finally. Outside shot of the racetrack. Scott King trying to find some grip up there next to the outside cushion. Colin Murphy slip of the grip coming out of turn 2 and down the backstretch. He has gotten caught by Scott King now. Lap 7 of 10 is what they work in turns 1 and 2. Kenny Hoppin has pulled off the raceway, so he'll have to work his way through the lower mains. Dylan Evers is off the racetrack in turns 2. Randy's back in P8 now. Bryce is P7. David Flick P6. You have Scott King and then Colin Murphy rounding out the top 4. Why everything is lined out, single filed out. This is what happened in the caution flag here. Watch right there in front of them. My apologies. Right in front of these guys is what happened with the wreck. 56 got a little loose. Kenny tried to stay to the bottom side. Just quite couldn't. White flag is out for the number 10 machine. On home, coming out of turn 4. He'll take the checkered flag. Curtin A, P2. Sorry, Jordan Etter, P2. Curtin A, 3rd. And then Colin Murphy coming home in that last and final transfer spot then the number 9 machine. Outside shot here at Lernerville. Sun hasn't quite gone all the way down, but the speedway lights are on. But when the sun goes down, though, it is go time. Heart rate goes up, the adrenaline goes up. Everyone's focus seems to go up as well. It's a weird feeling when that sun goes down and the Mac Daddy Show green flag waves. It's a whole different vibe out there. As heat race number 3 gets ready to hit the racetrack, that's how it's all going to fall into place. Jared drive out of Illinois. The number 25 machine. Top spot, Tim Mountain from the frozen land called Canada. He'll be starting there on the outside of the front row. Jeremy Weigel, the Team SSR driving number 20 machine. He'll be starting there in 3rd spot with Justin Sherman, SSR Elite driver. He'll be back in the 4th spot. Thomas Brandon, SSR Elite Sim Racing, number 35 machine. He'll be rounding out the top 5 with Eric Summerfield with Garmin Sim Racing. there to the outside. He'll be starting there in that 6th spot, the number 17 machine. Brandon Volzel's the Double Deuce machine with Double Deuce Motorsports. He'll be starting there in 7th spot with Jeff to the outside. You have Mason and then Diago. From the great state of Texas, the Lone Star State. Home of the Buckies. Cleanest bathrooms around, the number 36 machine. Rounding out that 10th and final spot here in the heat race number 3. Jared will be a race starter there in the all-black machine. Outside of him was the number 64 of Tim Alton. Jeremiah there in the all-white number 20 car. There on the inside of the 2nd row. Getting ready, looking for the green flag. Phil is left all alone. Come out, turn 4, and here we go. Back under green flag in action for heat race number 3. Top 4 drivers advance out of this 10-lap heat main. Jared to the outside part of the racetrack. He puts that right rear tire right next to the outside cushion, trying to rip the lip, and he's going to lead another lap here at Lernerville. Justin Sherman trying to hold down P2 there in the all-white machine. Looks down underneath the race leader down the backstretch. They wheel and deal down turns 3 and 4. Justin slide job to the race lead, and he's going to capture it. New race leader to the top spot. That's going to be Justin Sherman. Tim Alton still in P2, trying to put as much pressure on that back gas tank of that 25 machine as he possibly can. Halfway home to mama this time by Jeremiah back there in the 4th spot. He is in the hot seat inside the transfer spot as of right now. Down the backstretch, he goes down in turns 3 and 4, working the bottom side part of this racetrack. Diago rounding out the top 5 driver out of the Lone Star State. Jeff P6, Thomas Brandon back in the 7th spot. Has a lot of traffic right there in front of him. Got squeezed down, trying to work off a turn 2. But they shimmy a shy back in the turns 3 and 4. Trying to get under Jeff down the backstretch. Now Thomas is eating freight train. They're on the outside part of the raceway. Yeah, Brandon, the Double Deuce Motorsports there to his outside. And then Mason Inman tagging on to the tail end of this race field. Back up front for a quick bit. Sherman is our race leader. Jared at P2, Jeremiah rounding out the 3rd spot. 4th spot is still going to be Tim Alton. And it is a race for 5th place on back as of right now. Thomas Brandon working all the way down to the bottom side part of the racetrack. He's going to capture 6th place with Brandon still to the outside of him. White, the flag is going to wave one more time around Lernerville. Outside shot of the racetrack, 3 wide racing for 5th place on back. Diego, the all-yellow machine. Outside looking in. Alton trying to carry the front wheels off the ground. Checker flag is going to wave. Top 4, Justin, Jared, Jeremiah, and then Tim going to round out that top 4, send those guys to the Mac Daddy show. It was 3 wide racing behind that transfer spot for the entire 10 laps there. I felt like a couple of those guys had plenty enough speed, had the right setup. Just got trapped, man. Just got pinched down and could not find the outside lane. Thank you all for tuning in here to Whiskey Oval _TV once again. It's getting darker. It's getting quite dark out here at Lernerville. Heat race 4. Only 9 cars in this one. How will it all play out? We'll find out. Here we go with the starting grid. Zach Janis, our last week's winner for race number 1, number 7 machine. He'll be starting there on the top spot. Steve Duff to the outside of him. Chris Schaefer, he'll be starting there in P3 with Bruce Klingon. With Elbows Up Sim Sports, he'll be starting there in the 4th spot. Caleb will be starting P5, and then Hunger Buster of Kill starting there in the 6th spot. Jason Butterfield, driver out of New York, the number 93 machine. He'll be starting there in 7th with Connor Dewick, the 18 machine, driver out of Pennsylvania. He'll be starting there in the 8th spot. Then John, the number 52, rounding out the last spot there in the 9th spot. Only 9 drivers, 1 less driver than the other heat races. Could work out good or it could work out bad for you, I guess. Zach will be running all black and red. Rim 360 sprint car. Steve Duff to the outside of him with the all black and green. Wheel to wheel, wing to wing. Green flag out. It's time to shimmy a shive down into turn number 1 for E-Race number 4. Big time contact back here. Off the raceway goes Chris Schaefer with Wide Open Motorsports. He is off the raceway, and he'll have to grab a tow. Hunger Buster and Kellen, Jason Butterfield, they drag race down the backstretch. Butterfield down to the bottom side. Will he try to throw a slide job on Kelly? Yes, he will, but here comes Bruce Klingen to the outside now. Klingen all the way to the outside wall. He is trying to capture that last and final transfer spot, and he is going to zoom by both of them. So move Bruce Klingen up to that 4th spot now. Butterfield still trying to work the bottom side part of the racetrack. Zach Janis is our race leader, almost has a full straightaway on the race field. Steve Duff, P2. Caleb, 3rd place. And then Bruce Klingen rounding out the top 4, but he is working that high side, and he has found something with that car setup. Contact made for 2nd place. Caleb made a little bit of contact with Steve. Steve trying to work that bottom side, arcing in a lot more than what Caleb was thinking of, and they are 3 wide coming across the line. Caleb goes down to the bottom side. He is now P2, slip of the grip there, coming out of turn 2, trying to hustle and bustle down the backstretch. So here comes Steve once again, working the bottom side part of the raceway. Lap 7 of 10. It is anyone's race for this last transfer spot. Bruce Klingen moved that guy up for the 2nd spot. We are going to battle it on for 3rd place on back now. Steve rocking the all-green car. Caleb, the all-black car with the blue roll bars coming out of turn 4 now. Don't count out the number 58 machine of Kel now. Steve and Caleb has made contact multiple times into the apexes of turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But as of right now, Caleb has it. Jason Butterfield trying to throw a wicked type of slide job with 2 laps to go. Zach Janis's race is all for him to lose as he is coming across the line. The guy in 2nd place is just now coming out of turn 4. Caleb and Steve still have been next to each other the entire night. A big time slide job by Caleb on Bruce Klingen. Bruce had a check out of it big time. He knows he is inside the Mac Daddy show. Does not want no treble coming across the line. Bruce Klingen going to lose 2 spots into turns 1 and 2. Steve has made it into the show, and they're in the 3rd spot. Caleb, 2nd, and then Zach Janis, week number 1 winner. Completely rocked the heat race number 4. The D main. 3 drivers will be sent home out of this race. This one's kind of a stacked D main as well, man. So 4 drivers, sorry, my apologies. 3 drivers will be sent home. The top 4 drivers out of the D main will be tagged on to the end of the line of the C main. So only 8 laps though. So these drivers will have to hustle and bustle around Lernerville here. Here we go with the grid lineup. For the D main, for the National Auto Racing Club, Tyler Schell, driver out of Pennsylvania. He'll be there in the top spot with Dylan Evers with Team SSR to the outside. Jeff, the number 1, or sorry, the 11 machine, driver out of Plains. He'll be starting there in 3rd with Chris to the outside of him. Chris Schaefer, he was off of the raceway there on the backstretch of that last heat race. Dakota Hartzell with the Firm Motorsports squad, the number 75. He'll be starting there in the 5th spot with Kenny Hoffman to the outside, making up that 3rd row, starting in that 6th spot. Eric Summerfield, the 17 machine. He'll be starting there in that last and final spot here in the D main. My apologies. I was trying to read something while I was still trying to read something. So stacked up, packed up. Jeff gonna rock the Bud Light paint scheme. The number 11 machine, Dylan Evers to the outside of him. Team SSR, hashtag Mission 22, a very cool charity. They're on that front wing of that 813 360 sprint car of Dylan Evers. Stacked up, packed up. Let's do a little bit of shimmy and shiming down into turn number 1 for an 8-lap D main. Top 4 drivers will advance. It's all Jeff's race as of right now. He led lap number 1. He'll lead lap number 2. Coming out of turn 4 there on the high side. Tyler Schell back there in the 3rd spot, working this bottom side part of the racetrack here at Lernerville. Has Dakota Hartzell there to the outside. Schell going to get the best of him down the backstretch, but into turns 3 and 4. How will that all shake up? Still side by side coming across the race line. Hartzell still working he's still working hard out there on the high and scary side. Schell getting a very good turns 1 and 2. Not the best of turns 3 and 4 last lap. We'll see how the cards fall this turn. Hartzell powering back out, coming out of turn 4. Hartzell has definitely found something there in turns 3 and 4, and Schell has found something there on the bottom side of turns 1 and 2. Schell going to move up next to the high side in turns 3 and 4 now, trying to set his sights on for that number 11 machine, our race leader of Jeff. Dylan Evers, he is inside the final transfer spot there in the 813 machine there on the outside part of Kenny Hoffman. Hoffman trying to hustle and bustle down the backstretch on lap 6 of 8 now. Down into turns 3 and 4. Hoffman tries a bottom feed there in turns 3 and 4, but not much there, as we've seen a couple of those drivers try turns 3 and 4 down on the bottom side. And now Dylan Evers going to lose that spot to Kenny Hoffman for a short bit. 2 laps to go. White the flag out now for our race leader, Tyler Schell. He has grabbed the lead off of the number 11 machine of Jeff. Dakota P3, Kenny Hoffman rounding out that last and final transfer spot. Dylan Evers P5. You have Chris Schaefer back in the 6th spot, and then Eric Summerfield not going to be able to finish the race, but the checker flag waves for the number 44 machine. Here's the results out of the D-Main. Dylan Evers, Chris Schaefer, and Eric Summerfield's night is going to be will be done. Everyone else from Kenny, Dakota, Jeff, and Tyler, those guys will be tagged onto the tail end of the C-Main event. The C-Main event is going to be the exact same thing. 10 drivers, only 4 drivers are going to advance out. So if you do the math, I think that's 6. 6 drivers will be sent home. Packed house here tonight at Lernerville. Here's going to be the race grid as everyone is stacked up and packed up there in the gridding area. Thomas Brandon, the number 35 machine with SSR Elite Sim Racing. He'll be there in the top spot with Jason Butterfield, a guy that knows about every big block driver there possibly is in real life. Number 93 to the outside of Mr. Thomas Brandon. Jareth Pike, the number 40 machine. He'll be starting there in 3rd with Randy to the outside. Mason Inman back there in the 5th spot with John rounding out that 3rd row. Tyler Schell, this is from 7th place on back is from the D-Main. Tyler Schell and Jeff, Dakota, and Kenny rounding out that 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th spot. Randy was having a very good heat race. A driver that's starting there in the 4th spot. He got a little loose there into the apex of turns 1 and 2. Kind of lost all sorts of momentum, and another driver hit him. Actually, that was Kenny Hoffman that hit him. He'll be back to the 9th spot, so they have met each other once again here in the C-Main for a 10-lap race. MX Rider number 32 on YouTube has subscribed. Much appreciated, man. So stacked up, packed up. C-Main event is on. Don't want to end your night just quite yet. Top 4 advance, green flag out. Here we go. Thomas Brandon going to be a race leader. Jared Pike, P2. Randy to the outside. And Jason Butterfield, the all-orange number 93 machine, trying to work the bottom side of turns 1 and 2. Randy still working the outside part of the racetrack there on the high and scary side, trying to rip the lip. But here comes Mason Inman now out of absolutely nowhere. Inman outside looking in there in the all black and gray. Jason Butterfield trying to slide job up the racetrack. Didn't go all the way to the outside. Definitely left the lane there to the outside, but almost cleaned off that front end of the number 24 machine of Mr. Randy. So Thomas Brandon trying to run away with it, working the bottom side of turns 1 and 2 there, and as well as turns 3 and 4. Not liking the high side, feels a lot more comfortable down onto the bottom side here in the C main. Halfway home to mama this time by. Tyler Shell trying to work his way back up, starting from that second row. He's up to the 5th spot, outside looking in. Kenny Hoffman right there to the bottom side of him with 4 laps to go now. Jason Butterfield, he is in a hot seat right now with pro driver Tyler, and there goes Jason Butterfield. He goes out of the raceway. So move Tyler Shell up to that last and final transfer spot. Kenny Hoffman outside looking in. You have Dakota Hartzell back here in 6th spot. John 7th, Jeff 8th, then Mason Inman rounding out that 9th spot. Back up front, it is Jarris Pike's race now. Got the lead off of Thomas Brandon, has not looked back. Randy is running the high side. He's in P2. Thomas Brandon, he's in 3rd spot with Tyler Shell and Kenny Hoffman breathing down his neck coming out of turn 2 now. Shell to the outside part of the raceway. They're going to drag race. Shell once again going to try to cheat the corner there in turns 1 and 2. Slide it up next to the outside line. And now Thomas Brandon, he is still working the bottom side part of the racetrack here at Lernerville. Kenny Hoffman outside looking in, a lap and a half to go, powers himself through down the backstretch and down to the bottom side of Thomas Brandon. One more lap around Lernerville. Kenny Hoffman and Thomas Brandon, they're going to duke it out for the CMA now. Top 4 drivers will advance. Who's going to grab it? Kenny Hoffman for the final time in turns 3 and 4. Thomas Brandon to the outside, and they drag race to the line. And I do not know who got it. Right now, it shows Thomas Brandon being shown there in the 4th spot, and then Kenny Hoffman outside looking in. That was an extremely close last and final transfer spot run for both of those drivers. And it's Thomas Brandon who has made it into the B main show. By how much? Let's find that out. Thomas Brandon finished behind the leader by 2.159, and then Kenny Hoffman was behind the leader 2.172. So 5.9 and 7.2 is all it was to continue your night. For the Bravo, one more main after this. The most important main is right after this. 8 drivers are going to advance out of the B main. And now it's dark. Now the vibes are different. It is go time to make it to the Mac Daddy Show. Here's a starting grid with the 360 sprint cars here tonight for the National Auto Racing Club. Brandon Carman, the 0128 machine. He'll be starting there in the top spot with Sky King to the outside. Diego from the great state of Texas, the Lone Star State. It's a state that should probably be its own country. He'll be starting there in 3rd spot. Connor Dewick will be back there in 4th. Daniel 5th. Bryce will be rounding out the 6th spot. Brandon will be starting there in 7th with Hunger Buster of Kale with Team SSR. He'll be back in 8th place. Zach J. Miller 9th. David Flick 10th. Jared Pike will be making up the 11th spot with Randy Shears, the number 12. Will be starting back there in the 12th spot. 13th place is going to be Tyler Shell and Thomas Brandon. So Tyler Shell has worked it from the D main all the way to the B main. Can he make it up into the top 8 now here in the B main show? Usually no caution flags wave in the lower mains. 14 drivers, top 8, 12 laps. Brandon Garman, Scott King, top row. Green flag out. Let's do a little bit of shimmy and shiving now. Brandon Garmin, he has led all 4 laps as of right now. A little loose coming out of turn 2. Gets that thing hustle and bustling down the backstretch, though. There's a little bit of slipping and sliding there in turn 3 and 4, trying to work the middle side part of the raceway. Here comes Scott King now in that number 37 machine. Daniel there in 3rd spot, then Diego rounding out the top 4. Tyler Shell, he has already moved up into the top 5. Brandon back in P6. Connor 7th place. And then Zach J. Miller, Jareth Pike, and Bryce all trying to fight out for that last and final transfer spot. Zach J. Miller trying to work up into the top 8 now. He is inside the top 8, but it just lost it to Connor. Connor down to the bottom side with his Trading Paints nut number being nut number 7, number 18 up there on the scoring tower. Over halfway home the mama this time by. They're going to swip swap for the top spot for a slight bit. Brandon Garmin working the bottom side. They're going to be wheel to wheel, wing to wing, coming across the line. But give it to Daniel Adam Joseph as of right now. And Brandon Garmin trying to slide up there to the high side. But here comes Tyler Shell now from the back of the pack. Scott King back in the 4th spot, so throw a blanket over the top 4. But looks like Daniel Adam Joseph and then Tyler Shell slowly pulled away from the from Garmin and King in turns 1 and 2. So battle for the top 8 is on, and Jareth Pike, the number 40 machine, has it as of right now, but he is on the hot seat with 3 laps to go. Diego, the great state, a Texas driver, the all yellow and black car with the X on that front wing. He is working the middle side part of the raceway, trying to hold everybody back, but as well trying to hold on to that 8th spot. So Diego in that last and final transfer spot with 2 laps to go. Connor outside looking in, has not had the best of heat races. He has lost 5 spots here in the Mac Daddy Show, and someone goes off the racetrack, and that's going to be Bryce. Last lap one more time around Lernerville. Diego in the all black and yellow machine trying to hustle and bustle, elbows out, racing for the final time in turns 3 and 4. Diego trying to hold on to the spot. He is going to lose it to Connor Duick, the number 18 machine. He was able to pass him there on the outside into the apex of turns 3 and 4, and Connor's night is going to continue. Diego, David, Randy, Kalen, Bryce, and Thomas Brandon's night is going to come to an end here on the BE Main Show here at Lernerville for race number 2. So close, too, man. So close. Finishing there in the 9th spot when only 8 cars advance. That's never no fun. Here's a B main result. Someone went flying off the racetrack in their turns 3 and 4. I'm pretty sure that was Bryce. Tyler Show was able to win that thing with Daniel P2, Brandon Garmin 3rd spot. Scott King is going to finish there in the 4th. 5th spot's going to be all Brandon's with Double Deuce Motorsport. Jareth Pike, Connor, Diego, David, Randy, Kale, Bryce, and then Thomas Brandon rounding out the B main show. Warm-up is underway. They will not take the warm-up. They never do. I think I've only seen them take maybe one warm-up to slick up the racetrack a little bit more. But they usually throw the checker flag in about 1 minute and 30 seconds. So breakdown of the race 9. He raced number 1, went pretty smooth. He raced number 2, went pretty smooth. I think it was heat race 4. There was a little bit of contact was made, and a little bit of contact in heat race number 3 once the track started getting slicked up. But qualifying always playing a very big night for the National Auto Racing Club. They never take a practice session. Usually a 15-minute lobby or a 20-minute lobby, and no one takes a lap besides like the last 2 minutes. It seems like. So track is extremely tacky whenever the National Auto Racing Club hits the track for heat race and number 1. So qualifying always do you good to practice some qualifying laps. There's going to be 24 drivers making the A main start here in the Mac Daddy Show for race number 2, season number 3 for the National Auto Racing Club. Sponsors up there in your top right-hand corner of Personal Evolution Company. Much appreciated those guys, and School of Sim Racing. So as drivers slowly start getting lined up into their cars, the lights on the speedway or the lights outside are they're on. The moon is up, the sun is down, and it is go time now. You want to talk about some nerves? You want to talk about some adrenaline? This is it. The A-Main, the Mac Daddy Show here at Lernerville. No outside wall to catch you. Here we go with the A-Main Show, the grid. The guys that will be putting on the show here tonight, a 24-car fill. The guy that's going to be starting on the top spot here for the National Auto Racing Club, a race number 2. That's going to be Greg Lamy Jr., the driver for Elbows Up Sim Sports, the number 99 machine. Patrick Spangler to the outside with Wide Open Motorsports. Justin Sherman will be starting there in the 3rd spot. Zach Janis, week number 1 winner. He'll be starting on the outside of the 2nd row. Ryan Washok and Jordan Ed will be making up the 3rd, with Jared and Caleb making up the 4th row. Jeff and Kernay back there in the 9th and 8th spot. J. Romai and then Steve make up the 11th and 12th spot. 13th and 14th, that's going to be Gage Stevens and Colin Murphy, Tim Mountain and Bruce Klingon. Tyler Shell from the D-Main all the way to the Mac Daddy Show. He'll be starting there in the 8th spot. Daniel Adam Joseph back there in the P18. Brandon Garman 19th, and Scott King, Brandon, Zach, and Jareth, and Connor Dewey rounding out this 24-car 360 sprint car fill. Stack them up and pack them up, wheel to wheel, wing to wing. 30 laps around Lernerville. Green flag is out, and let's do a little bit of shimmy shimming down into turn number 1. Cautions out there on the raceway. Patrick with Wide Open Motorsports, a driver that started in 2nd place. He is still rolling out there on the raceway. Someone else is wrecked. So first caution comes quite early. That's Jordan Etter. He's been shown back in the pits now, with no front wing. Oh man, big time hits by a lot of drivers. One guy goes completely flying off the raceway. That's Ryan Washok down to the bottom side. Oh man, 23 machine got in quite hot. Then Ryan just goes flying off the raceway. So back to light mode, back to race mode. That's how that all shook up. They do have a quick fast repair. Then after that, it's over. So Greg Lemmy Jr. still going to be a race leader there in the number 99 machine, with Patrick to the outside of him. Greg finished with a top 3 run last week. Justin Sherman looked mighty quick in his heat race. He's up to the 3rd spot. Zach Janis to his outside. Pace trucks off the raceway. 28 laps to go once we hit the green flag. Lemmy is our race leader. Zach Janis tries to get to the bottom side. We may have another caution here, and yes, we do. Caution already back out on the raceway for the 2nd time here tonight. Caught the very end of that, but Zach Janis and Greg Lemmy Jr., race leader, they got all tangled up in turns 1 and 2, into the apex of turns 1 and 2. So yellow flag waves once again. Here we go with the race replay. The number 7 machine there in the 3rd in row. Lernerville got a little hot down there. Then Justin Sherman hit his back gas tank, and that's what sent him spinning. Then the yellow flag waved. Single file restart once again, and this track is slowly starting to completely go away now. With only lap number 5, this track is completely gone. It is the outside shot of this raceway. We'll be going green flag racing this time by. Lights on the paint track is off. The race controller wants to stack them up and pack them up. So that's exactly what he's going to get. And so as everybody gets lined up side by side, multiple rows deep, a 24-car field. Back underway. Lernerville Speedway, one of the dustiest tracks here on the iRacing circuit. And riding on board now with Brandon Garman with Team SSR as he had Tyler Shell right there in front and tried to chop his nose off. Down the backstretch, Garman goes into turns 3 and 4 now. Greg Lamby Jr., race leader. Greg Stevens, he's up to the 2nd spot after already moving up 11 spots here in the Mac Daddy Show. Justin Sherman back in the 3rd spot. Patrick Spangler and Caleb battling out for that 4th spot. Spangler there to the outside part of the raceway, and he's going to capture it from Mr. Caleb, the number 5 machine. So Patrick Spangler still holding down P4. Caleb P5. Bruce Kling in 6th spot with Colin Murphy digging down on the bottom side. Tyler Shell is slowly starting to move his way up through the race field. Now he's back here in the 9th spot trying to slice and dice through everybody. Jeff Stewart is right there in the 8th spot. He's going to put that right rear tire next to the outside Cushing and letter E. Outside of Caleb now. Caleb, the all 5, the all black with the blue roll bars. He's going to slide it up next to the outside lane. We're going to be 3 wide in turns 3 and 4. Tyler Shell trying to push the issue way down there to the inside turn. As everybody wheels and deals, Greg Lamey Jr. is our race leader, but Greg Stevens, our hard charger as of right now, he is closed up on that back Nerf bar as a yellow flag is going to wave once again for the 3rd time here tonight. The dust is flying here at Lernerville. Justin Sherman up the 3rd spot. Patrick Spangler 4th. Bruce Klingan rounding out the top 5. Caution flag waves for the 3rd time. Here we go with the replay. I got 3 guys in this one of Brandon Garman, Zach Janis, and Zach J. Miller, all up in this mess here, riding on board with Garman. Up in the chopper mode, never usually lie. The guy, I think that was Josh King, that got a little loose in turns 3 and 4. And yeah, there it is. 38 machine trying to stay off him, not much. King coming down the raceway. And then Brandon Garman, just wrong spot, wrong time with Zach Janis as well, as they all get glued together, get tangled up coming out of turn 4 there. Front row. Still going to be Gage and Greg. Back under green flag. Here we go. Greg Stevens, he goes off the raceway and coming out of turn number 2, he leaves the ballpark on lap number 12. So move Justin Sherman up to the 3rd spot, and Patrick Spangler having another very good night for himself. Trying to put as much pressure as he possibly can on that 00 car. Spangler gets a very good exit coming out of turn 2. Spangler trying to throw the slide job. Is he clear? Yes, he is. Throws a slide job for the second spot. Contact was made with Justin Sherman. Sherman going to throw it right back to him. Yellow flag is going to wave. Who is going to have that second spot? Who will iRacing give that to with 1 lap shy of halfway? For the 4th time here tonight, the yellow flag is going to wave. It looks like Justin Sherman will have that spot. That was a close slide job, though. Spangler, he wanted that second spot so he can put all of his sights on for Greg Lamy Jr. Greg Stevens, the guy that was a hard charger, left the ballpark coming out of turn number 2 on that last restart. He is back out there on the raceway, though. He's still being shown there on the lead lap. 22 cars out there. Zach Janis is being shown out. So 3 cars out of this race. 21 cars are still out there on the raceway, 1 lap shy of halfway. 4th caution flag here tonight here at Lernerville. Greg has led every single lap. Patrick trying to put as much pressure on him as he possibly can since he's up to P2. Justin Sherman, a very good run by that 00 machine. And Tyler Schell from the back part of the raceway coming out of the D main. He is already up to the 4th spot with plenty of laps to work here on the Mac Daddy Show. Bruce Klingen right behind him. The 21 machine kind of having a quiet night for himself. But yet, passing a lot of cars. He has passed 11 cars. Shell has passed 13. The top 3, that's exactly where they started, and that's exactly how they're running as we just hit the 10-minute mark. Single file restart this time. Back under green flag. So battles on for the second spot. Tyler Schell just threw a slide jump coming out of turn 4. Spangler was able to do the crossover move as he goes 4-wheeling down there to the inside wall. Got a little bit too close to that inside wall for his liking. As they wheel and deal come out of turn 3, Schell is going to power himself right around him, and so will Justin Sherman. So Spangler outside of a podium spot now. Lost two spots coming out of turn 4. Bruce Klingen is now to that 5th spot. Colin Murphy rounding out the 6th with Steve Duff. They're battling him out. Duff there to the outside, and Colin Murphy there to the bottom side. Murphy's going to lose that spot, but he has still moved up 7 spots here in the Mac Daddy Show. Back up front, checking on board with the race leader of Greg Lamy Jr. Ripping the lid, but has Tyler Schell. Moving up 15 spots, back there in the 2nd spot. On down the list, though, and something happened to Bruce Klingen. He is off the raceway. Off the raceway and losing spot by spot. And we are swapping for the top spot. Tyler Schell to the top of the charts, but here comes the 99 machine once again with 10 laps to go. Into turns 3 and 4. Lamy's going to try to ride rear him, and he almost did. Had to check out of it. Schell was still there. Now here comes Schell back down to the bottom side. Justin Sherman was able to hang tight with both of these drivers. These drivers throw haymakers at one another. Into turns 3 and 4, they wheel and deal. Lamy going to throw the slide jump, and here comes Schell. A very good run coming out of turn 4, and Schell moves right back to the outside cushion in turns 1 and 2. So give the 44 car the race lead, and Greg Lamy Jr. move him back, and he has almost led every single lap here tonight. Justin Sherman still holding good there in the 3rd spot, and a very good race by the 00 machine of Mr. Sherman. All over the back gas tank now of that number 99 machine. On down the list with laps winding down. Spangler 4th, Steve 5th. Caution is out. Jareth Pike 6th, Colin Murphy 7th, Jeff Stewart 8th, Brandon back there in the 9th spot. Daniel Adam Joseph rounding out the top 10. It is go time. Top 3, swapping the top spots. Yellow flag waves for the 5th time here tonight. We're at the 13-minute and 3-second mark here for the Mac Daddy Show. The grip is completely gone. The dust is flying. And it is go time now with just 6 laps to go. If you didn't have a very good night number 1, here's your chance to have a very good night number 2. If you're inside the top 10, you might want to finish in the top 10. Not the best feeling where you work all night long, you're inside the top 10 with less than 10 laps to go, and then you screw up. That's no fun. So yellow flag back out again. We'll try to find exactly what happened to the yellow flag. I haven't been able to find it yet, but here we go. Caleb and Zach J. Miller. Zach J. Miller not having the best of nights. Just bad luck for him all the way around. Miller there in front of him. Caleb there behind him. What happened to the 38 and the 5 machine? There it is. Both of them oiled down on the raceway, and Jordan Etter had absolutely nowhere to go. Both of them hung that right rear tire off the raceway. Back under green flag. Tyler Schell, our race leader. Greg Lemmy Jr. there in P2. And here comes a famous number 10 machine. Spangler going to try to squeeze himself right inside that gap. So now Spangler is on that podium spot. And now Justin Sherman outside looking in. Contact made in turns 1 and 2. And here comes Steve Duff out of nowhere, the all-green machine. Yellow flag back out. Yellow flag is back out on the raceway with a handful of laps to go. It is tied at quarter racing here at National Auto Racing Club. No front wing there for that number 5 machine. And man, that got sketchy for that third and final podium spot. We'll go back to green flag racing, I believe, with 5 laps to go. We're 15 minutes and 25 seconds in this Mac Daddy show. The guy that started there back in the D main. He's up in the top spot now in that number 44 car. Greg Lemmy Jr. led almost every lap all the way to the halfway point. With about 10 laps to go, Tyler Schell took the race lead and has not looked back. Kurt Ney is the last car rounding out the top 10. Ryan Washock back there in 11. Scott King rounding out P12. Everybody else machine still looks quite good, man. A lot of fast cars are still out there on the raceway. Scott King, 13. Jeremiah rounding out the 14th spot, and Tim Mountain rounding out the top 15. So getting ready to shimmy a shy for 5 laps. Tyler Schell, Greg Lemmy Jr., and Patrick Spangler, top 3. Spangler getting a really good bottom side there in turns 1 and 2, but here comes Steve Duff now there in the bottom side. Duff going to try and throw the slide job, not quite though. Spangler there to his outside, so my apologies, Duff had to check out of that one. Patrick still working the bottom side in turns 1 and 2, but here comes Steve Duff once again down to the bottom side in turns 3 and 4. Tyler Schell is checked out of the race lead now. Jareth Pike still rounding out the top 5. Colin Murphy, 6th place. Jeff Stewart. And there goes Jareth Pike is off the raceway. Jareth Pike slow there on the back stretch off the raceway, and he is losing all sorts of spots. 2 laps to go this time by. Outside shot of the raceway, and here we go. The battle is heating up for P2. Lamy to the outside. Spangler there to the bottom side. Into turns 3 and 4 now, and coming out of turn 4. White flag is going away. Patrick almost hung that right rear. Steve Duff still in P4, then Colin Murphy rounding out the top 5, and for the final time down the back straightaway. The number 44 machine from the D main to the top spot here in the Mac Daddy Show. Going to finish with a checker flag. Spangler with the top 3 finish once again is Steve Duff, Colin Murphy, Jeff Stewart, Brandon, Daniel Jeremiah, and then Scott King rounding out the top 10. Checker flag waves, and everyone pulls into the race besides the top three as they do the classic photo shoot here. What a race that was. A lot of comers and goers there for that top spot. Final race results up there on your screen here shortly. We'll get an interview with the top three drivers. Eleventh place on back. Bruce Klingen rounding out that 11th spot. Connor 12th. Jared 13th. Kurt Nay 14th. Caleb P 15. Steve 16. Jordan and Jareth Pike rounding out that. Jordan Eder and then Jareth Pike rounding out that 17th and 18th spot. Outside Raceway, and it is quiet now. Things got busy, things got exciting, but now it's all over and it is quiet. And after 30 laps here at Lernerville, that was fun. That was fun to see. The guy that's going to finish there in the third spot, that's going to be Patrick Spangler. And Patrick, man, a very good run for you once again for the National Auto Racing Club. My apologies, that's on my side. Hey, Patrick, can you hear me? Hello? I don't know if I can... Hey, Patrick. Don't believe I can hear Patrick, so I'll move up to the guy that's finished in second place. And Greg, you got me?
Yep, I got a copy.
Dude, a very good race out there, man. That was fun to watch, man. You led almost the entire race until about 10 laps to go, and Tyler Schell was finally able to get around you.
Yeah, I knew Tyler was coming. He's fast, and these cars, and it's one of those where you gotta take your butt whoopings when they come, and this is not my best track in the world, so second place, I'll take it and get some points back in the series, and on to next week.
Another top three finish for you. Race number one, you had a top three, and here you had another very good finish here. Outside lane there in turns 1 and 2 looked like it was fastest way around early on, but man, bottom side really looked like it was coming in.
Yeah, there at the end, I was just unsure of myself. Like I said, this is not my favorite track, so I always second guessing myself out there. I was trying the top, trying the middle, trying the bottom, and then I just was like, all right, let's be safe and take it home second, because we're not going to beat Tyler tonight, and it worked. We ended up in second, so we'll go back to the drawing board and keep inching our way closer and closer to those wins.
Well, great job here for a runner-up finish. You got any shout-outs that you'd like to give?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, definitely you, Jake, here at Whiskey Oval, doing a great job every single week. I'd love to go back and watch the races and hear you talk about it. And the SSR community, I mean, huge shout out to those guys, Tommy, Brandon. If you haven't heard about it, check it out. If you're new to dirt, you need some information or you need some help, check them out. Elbows Up Sim Sport, Paints by Tunicam, Roof Co, Anderson Speedway, Flow Racing, Dano Seasoning, all the guys over at our team make it happen. Awesome job to Tyler and Patrick.
Very cool, man. We'll catch you next week.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Thanks, man. And the guy that's going to finish there on the top spot of the podium from the D main, the 6'3" man himself, Mr. Tyler Schell. And Schell, dude, that was definitely fun to watch.
Yeah, that was fun to go through all the mains and end up getting the win. I told Greg before the race, I'd be like, I doubt I'll be able to see you, but you never know, I guess. And then I don't even know what I get the lead. And like before lap 20, I was like, wow, I really did not expect to go up through the field that fast. But just able to catch some breaks and find the right lines at the right time and get past everybody.
For a guy like me that struggles to get around this place like Lernerville, what is a trick to get around this place?
Just put your right rear in the right spot around the top. Like in 1 and 2, if you put it too early, you're just gonna hit the dip in the cushion and fall off. So you just gotta worry about that, and then get your left front like on the ledge on the bottom in 1 and 2 if you're gonna run the bottom. But other than that, it's just car placement. It's really big here because on the top, if you miss it, you're just gonna go right off, and on the bottom, you're just gonna float to the middle and just have no momentum and probably get passed.
Well, man, you moved up 16 spots here in the Mac Daddy Show to get in the top spot. So congratulations once again, man. And that was a very fun A main show to watch. You got any shout outs that you like to give?
Yeah, just like to thank Tommy and everybody and Bruce and all the admins for putting this on, and then you for broadcasting every week. It's a lot of fun to go back and watch. And then that was up Sim Sports, and then my sponsors, Personal Evolution Company, School Sim Racing, Flow Racing, Jessup Logistics, Paints by Tunica, and Hergut Real Estate, and Roofco, Contracts Apparel.
Very cool, man. We'll catch you next week.
Thank you. See you.
Tyler Shell there in the top spot. And Patrick, do you got us?
Yeah, gotcha.
Let's go. Patrick with another top 3 finish, man. Another podium spot for that number 10 machine of yours.
I had to work extra hard this week. I lost a couple times coming out of 4, got into Sherman twice. Sorry about that. If you're still listening, but it was fun.
Yeah, man, you guys were wheeling and dealing quite hard, man. That 3rd, 4th, and 5th place all night long, man. But you was up there in the top 5. You was up to second, or actually, you was battling for the race lead for a slight bit.
Yeah, they were on the bottom. I was getting a good run off the top, but I just couldn't get any traction coming out of 4 down the straightaway. And then at the end, I found bottom 1 and 2 was working. I pulled next to Lamy, but couldn't get the pass.
Yeah, we was watching that definitely there on the restarts. Everyone was trying to put that right rear tire next to that outside cushion. Besides you, man, you was down there on the bottom side digging hard.
Yeah, I saw it was like right before the last couple of cautions, Sherman and Lamy, they were on the top, and I ran the bottom once. I pulled up right next to Sherman, so I knew it was something down there. I was gonna ever complete the pass on Greg.
Well, man, a very good start for season 3 for the National Racing Club, man. Back-to-back podium finishes. So congratulations here at Lernerville. You got any shout-outs that you'd like to give?
Yeah, just family that's watching, Uncle Dan and Dad, and then Wide Open Motorsports having a good team. You put on the stream, and one of the best streams around. And Tommy for picking Lernerville week 2, so I can finish on the podium.
Very cool, man. We'll see you next week.
Thanks. See you next week.
Thanks, brother. Patrick Spangler there in that top spot, man. You can see those cars just bouncing down the front straightaway. Absolutely a very rough track here tonight. Final results up there on your screen one last time. That's how everything's going to play out. And that was fun. That was definitely fun to watch, from the heat races all the way to the A main show. Shell, Lamy, and then Spangler. My apologies there on the top 3 spots. Everybody, congratulations, everyone that made the A main show. That was very fun. We had a very close, I think it was B main with Thomas Brandon and Kenny Hoffman. No, sorry, that was for the C main, I believe. I don't know. I can't remember. Lost it just by a small bit, though. He raced 1, he raced 2, 3, and 4. And look at those cars just doing wheel stands down the front straightaway. Slipping and sliding. Tim Allen's going to round out the top 10. The driver from Canada. Bruce Kling 11th, Connor 12th, Jareth 13th, Kurt Nate, Caleb, Steve, Jordan, then Jareth Pike rounding out the 17th and 18th spot. Everyone, thanks for tuning in here to WhiskeyGold_TV. It's much appreciated. It's very fun reading your guys' comments and your likes and shares. It's very cool to see. So race number 2 is in the books. Race number 3. So they switch from 410s to 360s week after week. So this was a 360 race. Next week we'll be rocking the 410s for the National Racing Club. So get ready for some wheel stands and those big V8 engines. Till next time, my name is Jake. This is WhiskeyGold_TV. I'm live on Facebook and or YouTube. You guys go watch or replay this. YouTube, you can replay back in 1080p. We'll be back live next time. Next Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, here for the National Racing Club. Everyone, please take care. Stay safe. Enjoy some iRacing.com. Be a nice person. Congratulations to Tyler Shell, Greg. and a Patrick Spanlin for a top 3. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys later.